Hello, Birmingham. How you doing? All right. Thank you so much for coming out. Friday night. You pumped?
Yes.
Yeah, we remember what day it is. Okay. Little check for myself there to be like, oh, I'm in Birmingham. It's Friday. Yes. So great to be here.
Who's excited to see? I've got a computer tonight. Oh, thank you.
Thank you so much for coming out. It is an absolute pleasure to be here. Was anyone here at this show at the Glee Club last night?
You were sitting in that same chair.
No, he was there last time, and we picked on him a lot. So
now it's your turn.
Wise for you to. Ooh.
Oh boy. I just talked into my drink, so it's been a long couple of weeks.
But we're having
We're
the
doing
best
fine.
ever time. Huh? Was that convincing? No, we literally are. It is an absolute pleasure.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for coming out. We're going to sit down right now and make the most of these red chairs.
They're very comfy.
They
We've even
are.
got, for some reason, we have a seating chart.
Oh, look at seating chart. It says the person in chair 320 will be executed halfway through the show. So sorry.
Oh, sorry.
Sorry.
Oh,
It's
not
good
much
to
we
have
can
that.
do.
So like a real sad episode of Oprah.
Everyone, look under your chairs.
You get... no. Complete that one yourselves. Fuck. All right, great. I slept till midday today and I'm feeling fresh AF.
What does that mean?
I'm not sure, but feel real good. Feel real good.
That's what the
good.
young people say.
Yeah,
AF.
they all say fresh.
Yeah.
Fresh. All right, great. Have we lost momentum early here? Running out of steam. Right off the top.
Plenty more steam. Don't you worry. We're just saving it for the big finale. Okay.
We just went down to your Christmas festival, and it is very nice.
The German Christmas market. Anyone been there?
People drinking Steins in the streets. It's bloody mayhem. You wouldn't be allowed to do that in Australia.
Yeah, nanny state.
Yeah. With good reason. We
we-
do not deserve to be trusted.
Yeah.
It's mainly something that Matt did a couple of Christmases ago. We cannot
Ruined
be
it for the
trusted.
rest of us.
Anyway, I'm on the waters here, so you guys can be resting assured that everything is going to be A-OK.
You were very excited about that. Appreciate that. Thank you.
You're okay with okay?
I'm okay with okay.
Yeah, great. Oh, putting that on a t-shirt.
Yeah. All right, then we're
I'm okay with okay.
selling that shirt after the show. All right. We've got a very good printer backstage. It's all good. But give me a round of applause, ladies and gentlemen, if you've ever heard the Do Go On podcast before.
It is awkward, yes. And I
You
can lip
haven't?
read.
Oh, May! You've never heard it?
I have, she hasn't.
Oh, okay.
Front row Santa, love it.
Has anyone else in the front row not heard it before?
Yeah, great. Okay
Yeah.
with okay hasn't heard it.
You're okay with not listening to the podcast?
Fine.
You
Fine.
just put your leg up instead of your hand. Let me try that. Yeah, I'm okay with being okay.
Your face says otherwise.
God, that really hurt. Okay, now give us a round of applause. We've met a couple of people. If you've never heard the show before, don't be shy.
Just those two. One more. Okay, great. Okay, great. And one more here. Okay, I'm sorry, I don't have to point at you individually. That was weird. I just didn't want anybody to feel left out. I feel like there was another one over there. Is there another one over there?
Just get him stood up.
Nah, cool. Okay, yes. Very sheepish, and I'm pointing at you. I'm sorry.
If you could just put your leg up, that'd be great.
That's okay. That's we're not picking on you. Well, I did a little bit. I'm sorry about that. It was just funny that I happened to be looking at you as you went, "This is awkward."
No, thanks for your honesty. If you've never heard the show before, which some of you haven't, basically it's a podcast where one of us does a report on a topic, usually suggested by a listener. The other two people have no idea what it's going to be. And today it is Matt's turn to report on a topic that Jess and I have no idea what it is.
Do you want to... We're going to start it right now, are we? That caught me by surprise.
I mean, we could start it at the end of the show if you like. It depends how much research you did today.
It really feels like we talked more shit last night, but you're going to get straight into it here tonight. Sure. All right, great. Well, I honestly am glad that you've said that because I am raring to go. What is my password? Okay. Great. So we start the show or the report with a question.
Yep.
You said that already?
I have not.
But you did.
All right, we did it. And that was it. And here's another one. And this will get us onto the topic. The question is, I'll ask these guys, if they don't get it, then I'll throw it over to the audience. The question is, what has been billed as the most dangerous film ever made?
Dangerous film.
Yes.
Dirty Dancing.
No.
You
Very.
try doing that lift. It's really hard.
Yeah, 9 people died doing that. Nobody puts baby in the... Oh, God! Dirty, I did not think I had a Dirty Dancing joke in me, and neither did you, so there we go.
Yeah, they validated that. Dangerous film.
Dangerous films. Risky Business.
You can sprain an ankle doing that thing on the socks.
Yeah, 9 people died. Tom Cruise was not the first person cast in that role, but he nailed it.
I don't know. Does anybody have a
I got a clue. It's also the name of a hit Katy Perry song.
Firework.
You're clicking at me. I'm not a waiter, but yes.
I'm so sorry.
No, I'm joking. It's
When
fine.
you said that, I was thinking Home Alone because like kids are gonna want to try that.
Sure.
Home Alone
that's a
because
good
kids-
I love
guess.
that. Yeah, that's a left of field.
Kids recreate it.
Home Alone, that classic Katy Perry hit song.
Raw.
Raw's correct.
Raw.
Oh.
No one's heard of it. I hadn't either.
So I've got to ask,
Raw?
do you know the film
You
or do you know
Googled it.
Katy
I've
Perry?
not seen the film. I've heard of the. Well, you've seen, but yeah.
I've heard of that. Well, you'll see.
What does that mean? Like you'll stand up halfway through and explain the rest of this anecdote? All right. So to finish what I started.
I'll handle this one, Matt.
Right. Bit of Katy Perry and music together. This is films together. Anyway, yeah, good.
It's got nothing to do with Katy Perry. That was just a little clue there. Here is the report. Welcome to the show, everybody. Thanks so much for coming.
Did you write that down?
I don't hardly write it. All I've got here is be yourself and bloody knock 'em dead, soldier. And that's what I'm gonna do. All right. Raw is a film written, directed by, and starring Noel Marshall, a man who had previously done none of those things.
Yes.
He
love that.
had been an executive producer on some successful films, though, including The Exorcist, which is a big hit. You know that one?
Yeah, and so he was an executive producer.
Yes.
Cool.
Here's the film's overview from Rotten Tomatoes. Wildlife preservationist, well, I've added a syllable in there. Anyway, Hank lives harmoniously alongside... Oh, boy. Be yourself, soldier. All right. Lives harmoniously alongside a menagerie of untamed animals, including cheetahs, elephants, lions, and tigers, on a preservation in the African plains. When his wife and children arrive for a visit, a long brewing battle for dominance between 2 lions erupts and threatens their very lives.
Is his wife one of the lions? All right. I've become very attached to this lion while you've been away. You will have to fight to the death, and I will continue to be married to the winner.
Right. Okay.
Is this the plot? Is that the plot?
It feels like those are 2 different things that have happened, and they just they're just. Oh wow. Yeah. It's happening to me now too. They happen to be at the same time. You know?
Yeah. Yep. Yep.
Dave, could you carry this one? Do you reckon? We are not doing well.
Hi, everyone. I'll take it from here. Katy Perry was born in 1980. I reckon she's about that old.
It's not that
I'll just
old.
whip up a report about Katy Perry off the top of my head.
Go on.
I think her parents are nuns or something, and she was a gospel singer, but then decided to be sexy, and that worked. So
Her
fast
parents.
forward to now, she cut her hair short. People didn't like that for some reason, and now Taylor Swift's back on top. So happy birthday! Thank you. Thank you.
So happy birthday is a good way to end.
I know. 'Cause
So-
you say birthday, people applaud. It's like, oh, this is good. Remember that,
Are
Matt.
you adding notes? Yeah. Good.
Just write happy birthday at the end.
100%. Look forward to that. All right, that better fucking work because I did not have a strong finish, so that will.
Get us home at the end.
Noel cast his family in the film. His wife Tippy played his wife. His stepdaughter Melanie played.
No, you're going past Tippy. You're just gonna skip over a name like Tippy and not expect this kind of reaction. We've been doing this for 3 years. You thought you could drop a name like Tippy and I wouldn't react.
Honestly, I didn't notice. I didn't mean to
Love
skippy Tippy,
it.
but that just.
This isn't the same Tippy as Tippi Hedren,
It is.
the Alfred Hitchcock star of many of his films,
Yeah, it is.
including The Birds.
Tippy.
Tippi Hedren, yeah.
Let me just
Tippy.
delete a little paragraph from.
Tippy.
That's weird. It's almost like I left out her surname on purpose, hoping you'd think it was a different Tippy.
Oh man, that's great. Are there any Tippies in? That would make my day.
That would be nice. That would be nice.
Tippy.
Tippy,
Love
in
that.
Australia, if you're called Tippy, that's short of a tip rat, and it's not a positive. But there was an old Saints player who was known as Tippy. Anyway,
Tip rat.
regularly play golf with a Tippy.
Yeah?
So that's one of the weirdest lies I've ever made. Okay. Top 5, I reckon. So Tippy, his wife, played his wife. Stepdaughter Melanie played their daughter.
Melanie? I'm just saying, like, that's a character's name as well. Keep
Yeah.
going.
That's not the same Melanie. I don't know. Could have been many Melanies.
Griffith.
Melanie
Yeah.
Griffith. That's not Melanie.
Yes, it is.
What?
100%, that's Melanie Griffith.
I can't tell if you're fucking with me or not.
Yeah, it is.
Whoa. Either.
It's funny because I went back and I deleted both of their surnames. I'm like, I'll reveal it as I go through. They're both famous
And we
actors.
ruined it.
The first one I definitely stood on your toes there, but the second one I was just clutching
Well,
for
a name
any
like
Melanie.
Tippy isn't that common, so that's fair.
That's
Sorry.
funny. Well, Tippy's Melanie's mum.
Cool.
Anyway,
Checks out.
so they were both already actors, so that made some sense. But they also cast a couple of their sons in the film, and they weren't actors. But bloody hell,
What are their names?
John and something else.
That's not John Malkovich, is it?
I don't think so. No.
Okay. Bugger.
To go along with the real family cast in the film, real animals played the animal parts.
Ah.
Wow, that sounds pretty dangerous.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Were they typecast or were they?
Yep, they had lines as lines,
Yeah.
etc.
I mean, give them a challenge, you know.
Yeah, I know. There were no camera tricks. Some people think there was a lot of post work, but it was all just real. I mean, it's hard. Can you believe the things that I saw are real?
Whoa.
Because they were pretty full on.
What did you see?
There was like lions there jumping on them and...
Right.
On people?
Yeah, Melanie Griffiths.
That's not the same Melanie. Doesn't work anymore, okay?
The human cast and crew were all right.
At their jobs, or? Pretty good director.
Really sure what I meant by that.
I mean, we wouldn't call him the best boy. He's more like an alright boy.
They were all right because they weren't. That's the whole point. They weren't all right. Anyway, the human cast and crew were not all right, but they were right there with the lions, and it was obviously very full on and led to many injuries on set. And that's where the Most Dangerous Film tag came from.
Right.
When the film was re-released in 2015, it was initially released in 1981. It was re-released in 2015. They used the tagline, "No animals were harmed in the making of this movie. 70 members of the cast and crew were."
Like, they're so proud of it. Oh, yeah. Several of us were mauled, but you animal rights groups can back off, because all the animals are fine. George is dead, but anyway.
Well, let me take you back to the start. Noel Marshall, the man who came up with the idea for the film, he was born in Chicago on the 18th of April, 1931.
Good.
All right. He developed an interest in animals whilst working at the St. Louis Zoo in his youth, and in his 20s he made the move to Hollywood, setting up a talent agency with his first wife, J. Joseph. Tibby Hedren was born Natalie K. Hedren in Minnesota on January the 19th, 1930. Her father gave her the nickname Tippy, which is Swedish for little girl when she was a baby.
Oh, that's cute.
That is
Tippy.
nice.
Yeah, you piece of shit. It's a beautiful thing the father did with his daughter, and here you are tonight.
Loving her name.
Yeah, no, well done.
Yeah.
Tibby moved to New York City, kicking off a successful career as a fashion model. I wrote fashion model, but they're all... Are there other kinds of models?
Hand model.
Car models, I guess.
Yeah.
Butt model.
Butt models, sure. Is that what you said? Did you say butt model?
Yeah.
Are you speaking from experience?
Maybe.
Maybe. I prefer a direct answer, to be honest. Thank you.
Butt model. Great.
He's handing out business cards after the show. For all your butt needs. Oh, no. Or maybe it's your business card.
I'll take one. Hey, we're in Birmingham.
You also don't have a butt, so that...
Yeah, I live
You could have a stand-in.
through your butt. What's yours is mine, sir.
I live through your butt. Nah, but welcome to those of you who've never seen us before.
Tibby moved to New York City, kicking off a successful career as a fashion model, I already said. There she met and married budding Broadway actor Peter Griffiths. Oh, Griffiths, I wonder... Damn it. Together they had a daughter, Melanie Griffiths.
Oh my God!
What a reveal!
Imagine how
Sorry,
much that joy would have given these beautiful people with such poor lives with nothing in their day-to-day. They come out here for a sweet reveal, and you take that away from them, you tip rat. All right. Together they had a daughter, Melanie Griffiths. Oh my God, I'm rereading nearly every line.
But was their mother some sort of model?
Yes.
What kind?
But the marriage didn't last though. After the divorce, Tippy moved to California, where she started picking up acting roles and was signed by Noel Marshall's talent agency. The same Noel Marshall as I just spoke of before.
Foreshadowing.
Oh.
No, that's post-shadowing.
Post-shadowing.
Hedren's role in a television commercial was enough to get the attention of legendary director Alfred Hitchcock,
Another sweet reveal.
who signed her to a 7-year deal, landing Hedren the lead role in their 1963 smash hit, The Bird.
Oh, what a reveal! Whoa, none of us knew that.
During the filming, apparently Alfred Hitchcock had live birds thrown at her. She was terrified and they attacked her for real. That was... What a legendary director.
Throwing birds.
Are the birds alive?
Yes.
Throwing a bird. She's like on her way to the bathroom. He's like, think quick! Got her on tape. We'll write it in. All right. Timmy's character walks to bathroom.
Think quick. It's like, that's my childhood, basically. Think quick!
People throwing shit at
Yeah.
you. Oh,
Just being.
but imagine if it was a live bird.
I'm not saying it never was. Sorry. Would you want us to pad while you chew your ice?
The success of the film helped make Hedren a star. She also won the Golden Globe Award.
For best bird copped in the face.
They used to be way more niche, the categories.
So many
back
categories
then.
that year. So many categories.
Yeah.
The ceremony went for weeks, but bloody hell, she deserved that. No, for most promising newcomer, as well as the Bird in the Face award.
Wow.
Despite the film's success, working with Hitchcock was a nightmare for Hedren.
Wonder why.
Well, apart from copping birds to the face, according to biography.com, Hitchcock was so angered by her rejection of his advances during the filming that he persistently subjected her to a range of sexual and mental harassment.
Oh, yeah, he is not a good guy.
I didn't know anything about him before reading this. What else did he do?
Just a bad guy. He's one of yours.
I feel I tell you this every show. We are outnumbered. Stop picking fights with them.
Yeah. We're going to get bashed after the show for bad-mouthing Alfred Hitchcock. Let's get him!
Any cockheads in? There were, so, not that it really matters, I mean, harassment's harassment, but he was well into his 60s by then, and she was quite young, so it's like particularly
Gross,
full on and gross, yeah. After filming Marnie together, which is
because she's got a 7-year contract.
Yes.
Which is so weird too. Back then there was a lot of like
studio contracts.
Yeah, studio contracts that you just worked for that studio, and it's not like they had roles in mind for you. They're just like, you're ours. Very weird.
Yeah.
So now she's stuck working with him.
It's a different time. I guess in a pre-9/11 world, you will. We were more naive back then. Contracts went longer, and you know things were different. But then it all came tumbling down.
You are implying that 9/11 saved Hollywood?
That is also a top 5 weird lie. Sometimes I start a sentence and don't quite know where it's going to end. That was not an example of that. That was very well thought out. After filming Marnie together, the following film they did, the harassment continued, but Hedren refused to work with Hitchcock again because of it. Mm-hmm. This apparently led to Hitchcock setting out to ruin her career. According to biography.com, it says he was successfully able to do this for a while, stop her getting roles, holding her to the contract and bad-mouth and that sort of stuff.
Great. He sounds like he's really mentally very well, yeah. Very secure.
We're talking about a guy who throws birds at people.
Hey, to be fair, he yells think quick first, so they're
Bit
warned.
of fun.
Fair warning.
Yeah.
But she used her newfound star power to land some roles on TV, which was sort of able to get around the contract. And Hitchcock eventually gave up, and in 1966 he sold her contract to Universal Studios.
Oh.
Now I don't know if you know about 1966, but that was a very good year. The Saints in the VFL AFL won their one and only premiership. They haven't been able to climb that mountain again, but you know they're still there. They're still batting away.
You are speaking a different language to her.
So you English? Yes, C. She said C. So also England brought the trophy home or some shit. Amongst all this, Hedren also married her agent Noel Marshall.
Oh.
The man from before again. Now out from Hitchcock's contract, Hedren started working in films again, including in Charlie Chaplin's final film, which was called, David, one of you did a report on Charlie Chaplin?
Jess did. I'm happy to say, because I don't
Name,
remember.
what was his last film? Or name any of his films.
Can you remember any?
No.
The Great...
Clock.
Ooh.
War?
Dictator.
Great Dictator's what I said. We call them clocks.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it was a different title in Australia, that's right.
His final film as director was called A Countess from Hong Kong, and she starred alongside Marlon Brando and Sophia Loren.
Oh, cool.
It was a flop. Despite all that.
Despite all that, that's huge star power.
Yeah. And obviously not very good apart from that. So unfortunately it was a flop and her work started drying up a bit. But during this period, Hedren and Marshall began working together a bit more, including a few films that were shot in Africa. And whilst there, they saw a pride of lions who seemed to have taken up residence in an abandoned house. This is where the...
That's pretty great.
It's kind kind of like the Home Alone. Oh.
She's gone. She is gone.
Anyway, where'd I lose them? Somewhere along there. Anyway, that's fine. So they saw these lions take up a residence in an abandoned house, and this is where the idea for them doing a film about a scientist living in a house with big cats came from.
Where do people get their ideas?
Over there. Marshall and Hedren decided that while the film was set in Africa, it would be shot in California, and that the cast would be their own family. Marshall and Hedren casting themselves alongside 3 of their children, John, Jerry and Melanie. Is it Melanie?
Yes.
Yes. It's weird without the Griffiths. Rather than bringing in adult animals, it was decided that it would be safer for them to raise the animals from infants themselves.
They're really playing the long game for this film.
They did it all in-house. They started collecting animals. There'd be rescues and animals that small zoos couldn't handle anymore and that sort of stuff. So they were picking up cubs of lions and those sort of things.
Can you just do that? Just call up a zoo and ask to adopt.
In the 70s, apparently you could. In California, it was wild times.
Amazing.
So they were getting these young cubs, big African cats, and then tigers and other non-African animals were started to be offered to them, and they brought them in as well. They were like, sure, we'll take them all. It's all a bit haphazard. Marshall's son, John, remembers questioning it, saying recently, I was about 15 when I said, why do we have tigers? There's no tigers in Africa. I would say, why do we have mountain lions? They're from North America. And everyone would go, it's a stupid question. And that's the end of that quote.
It is a bit of a dumb question, isn't it? Just shut up, John.
It's basically, shut up, John.
Yeah. There's a John in every family, you know?
We've all got one.
Yeah.
Your brother's a John, isn't he?
No.
Great. Greg.
My dad's John.
Your dad's John.
Everybody needed to know that. It's very interesting. It's not at all. Anyway.
Everyone say hi to Jess's dad, John.
He listens. He'd love that. Any bit of attention he
He'd
could
love
get.
it. He would love it.
Loves it.
And if you want to tweet him, it's at Jess's dad, John. Strange handle, but that's his.
Yeah, he's very proud of me and not my brother.
His other account
Are
is.
you Michael's dad? No.
At not Mike's dad.
Sorry. Just wanted to help.
Do you guys stop talking as soon as I have a sip?
I did it not on purpose.
Bloody-
I mean, it's your report. We're kind of following you here.
John did see some benefits. And this isn't Jess's dad. This is back to the John from
Yeah.
the story.
I
John-
think you'll need to say that every time you mention John from this point out.
That's okay.
Ideally, I could just say it now and that'll count for...
I'll be confused.
John did see some benefits to looking after these exotic animals, though, saying, I had this tiger that I absolutely loved called Nicky. I would take him down to the local luncheon bar place and girls would go, oh my God, can I play with your tiger? And he'd say, well, not right now, but if you give me your phone number. It's a John quote. Your dad is a slick operator.
I don't think I'd... If I saw someone walking down the street with a tiger...
I'd call the police.
Yeah. I'd be like, that person's stolen a tiger. You know? I wouldn't be like, oh. That's how I flirt.
Yeah. Very, very successful.
Yeah.
You wouldn't say, oh my God, can I play with your
I'd say
tiger?
like that, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Can I play with your tiger? They'd call the police.
As the cats began growing in size and number, an animal control officer started to visit the marshals and be like, hey guys, here you got lions, neighbours are saying you got lions, they got little kids and they're worried your lions are going to eat the little kids. And then the family would grab all their lions and throw them over the back fence. So the dad would go to the door when the doorbell rung, and that apparently it happened enough that they had a system. They'd all run with their lions and tigers and throw them over the back fence, and their dad would stall for a bit, go, no, what are you, I don't know what you're talking about here. They're like, not around here. What a weird question. Thanks so much for coming. No, I don't know what you mean. And then they'd jump over the back fence and just be like, shh, shh, little tiger. And then they'd go and he'd come back and it happened again and again. Eventually they're like, yeah, we got lions. And the girl's like, I mean, I know.
I know. Yeah.
I mean, you take this tiger to brunch every morning.
And you've got big windows at the back of your house. I can see your children throwing tigers over the fence. Nah.
Nah, not us.
So eventually he was like, oh, well, okay, you're going to have to I'm giving you 24 hours, you've got to get rid of your tigers and lions and cougars and cheetahs.
24 hours is not enough hours.
So they very quickly bought a property. So this was in a Los Angeles suburb where they were. Like a highly populated area. And it was illegal to have tigers and lions.
Oh, it was.
Yeah.
In a highly populated suburb.
Yeah.
You're not allowed to have a lion.
Yeah.
Oh, God. Tell you what. All
Yeah.
this government red tape.
That's right. The nanny state.
Yeah.
And the whole time they could just afford to have a big property. And they only bought it when the police said, you've got to buy the big property.
Yeah. Yep, pretty much.
That is outrageous.
So they bought a larger property in Santa Clarita and took the animals there. According to Entertainment Weekly, principal photography started on October the 1st, 1976, at Santa Clarita, which is where most of the movie was filmed. By this point, the animal cast numbered 132 lions, tigers, leopards, cougars, and jaguars.
And they had this in a normal house,
No,
like weeks earlier.
This is now not weeks, it was a little while in between. Time blew out for a few months in between, and they were still collecting more, and then they started breeding. So there's a lot, so it's fun. You watch some of the shots, and it's just like it looks like a river flowing past of animals. It's pretty cool. They also had a 10,000-pound bull elephant named Timbo, which Marshall and Hedren acquired from an animal park in Canada. The shoot was scheduled to last 6 months, but stretched to 3 years, and then again on to another couple of years to 5 years.
And aren't there kids in it? They'll be growing up over 5 years.
Yeah, they had to give them haircuts and stuff to make them look younger. Chop off their feet and ankles.
But no animals were harmed.
That's right.
Yeah, no.
Also, partly due to different shutdowns on set, the budget ended up ballooning out to $17 million. This is in the 70s, basically an independent film. They had to sell horses and other things to fund it.
How many horses do they sell? 17 million.
17 million horses. $1 each. It's a fire sale, but should have just made a horse film.
Yeah.
Think about it.
If you had that many horses.
As well as financial troubles, shooting on the film was often also delayed by injuries to cast and crew. Let me tell you about some of them. John Marshall has explained, "You're fine with lions and tigers as long as you don't show any fear. The problem is that the plot required us to show fear." And they did not think of that until...
Yeah, but can't you just explain to the lion, I'm acting?
Apparently, so they'd grown up with these lions and tigers and taught them to respect them. They were kind of, they were the alphas of the pride, but then they started to act like they were betas or whatever, beta boys, and so it really confused the animals and it made them start to behave a bit differently. It said that there were more than 70 attacks on cast and crew. Some of these incidents include, during shooting, John Marshall, the son, was walking with a lion when he tripped, landing face down in high grass. The lion walking with him jumped on him and closed its mouth over John's head.
That is true respect of an alpha. If a man falls down, you quickly put your jaws around its head to save him.
Yeah. It thought it was doing mouth to mouth.
Yeah, their mouths are bigger than ours.
Half a dozen crew members were needed to pull the lion off.
And once he'd relaxed, we could get him to let go of the boy. I mean, 6 people. It's quite impressive, isn't it? Oh, we're going to need someone up the back. We need another set of hands. That's right, they are the king of the jungle. Wow.
So when his head came out, John looked up to see his blood on the lion's teeth.
Did he apologise?
No apology, and Marshall required 56 stitches in his head.
56.
You reckon you should get one less or four more?
4 more.
Jess has got this weird thing about round numbers, and she won't stop banging on about it.
And I can't fully explain it either. But come on.
I don't know.
Just pop in 4 more.
Unnecessary stitches.
They're not, they're not going to hurt, are they?
Yeah, I think they will hurt. Yeah. Have you ever had stitches?
Nah.
Would it work if I just rounded everything up before I said it?
No, I'll know you're lying.
I'm a very good actor.
Okay, yeah, if you could do
I'll read that last line again.
Right.
Marshall required 60 stitches.
Seems about right.
All right, okay. Well, I can do that. Melanie Griffiths quit mid-production, telling her mum, "I don't want to come out of this with half a face." She had a budding film career, and she didn't want it.
She had a feeling that the film industry required her to have a face.
It's all about the face.
Right, okay.
She wants to quit while she's ahead. I've still got 3/4 of a face. I'll stop now.
She did it after a couple of lines brawled in front of her, and she's like, "Oh, I'm out. Right." A replacement actor was found. It was one of her friends, and they shot a bunch of stuff with her, but then Griffiths decided she wanted to come back a while later, and they reshot those scenes. But some scenes in the film are still seen with the other actor in the place of the daughter. So if you're a keen eye, you'll be like, she changed briefly.
How weird.
After she returned, her fear kind of came true, with Griffith being mauled by a lioness, and she had to get plastic surgery and 20 odd stitches.
How many?
23. But
That's a dumb number.
it's Michael Jordan's number, mate.
Yeah.
Shane Warne's number.
Oh, yep. That's
Dean
getting better.
Rice's number.
Yeah, these are getting better with each one.
Yeah.
Hedren. Who's the Aston Villa number 23? No one comes to these shows and gives a shit about sport, do you?
Not Villa.
Not Villa. You're a Birmingham City man. Who's your number 23?
I mean, you could literally say any name. What's your name? Rob.
Yeah.
Oh, Rob.
Rob, 23.
Yeah, number 23.
Kicks a bunch of goals, that guy. And he's got a cool beard. All right. Hedren also had a leg broken. Hedren, the mum, Tippy, had her leg broken when she was bucked off the back of the elephant before being crushed beneath it.
Don't get on the elephant.
And don't get under the elephant.
Both very important pieces of advice.
That's good advice.
Don't get under an elephant.
This next bit makes anyway. They had a safe word on the production.
The elephant definitely respected that. Oh no! Beans! Take my leg off of you there.
I was going to go for pineapple.
Oh.
Yeah.
It's one syllable. Beans.
Yeah, good call. You
You'll say
don't
it like
want to
that,
make it too
though.
difficult. Yeah.
The safe word was Noel, the dad's name.
That's confusing.
And is he also the director?
Yes.
So anytime you want to address the director, you're saying the safe word.
But his character's name was different, so it'd be weird for you to say in a take the director's name.
Sure. Okay.
So it's basically them saying, I want out of this scene. This is getting too full on. No.
No!
Then Noel would call cut, and they'd rescue the actor. That was the.
But he had to say cut.
Yeah. Can't ruin a good take.
It's not implied. So there's lots of shots that just end with someone yelling, "No!" Just cut to a different scene.
How weird.
Who's Noel? They never mention a Noel.
That is at least what Noel said would happen. During one scene, his stepdaughter Melanie Griffith was being pinned down by a lion, and the lion was ripping her hair off. She starts yelling, "No, no, Noel!" Noel!
No, Noel.
And Noel said, keep rolling. This is good stuff. He didn't cut.
Let's just see where this goes.
He didn't cut it, and that scene ended up making the film. You can hear her saying Noel. $17 million blockbuster this is. Perhaps karmically, Noel Marshall was regularly injured. With Hedren later saying that a wing in the local hospital that should have been named after him, he was there that often. Keen to get back to shooting though, he didn't always recover fully before he went back in, and that led to complications including needing to be hospitalised for gangrene.
Oh no!
It's a very...
No, yeah.
No, that's an old school one. Didn't think you got gangrene anymore. I don't. I've left that in the past.
Good for you.
Thank you. Made a call on that a little while back. No more for me, thank you.
Yeah. You know what? I think I've had enough gangrene.
Director of photography on the film, could be anything, but I want to say Jan de Bont. Does that ring any bells? He directed big films later.
Yeah, it's not the same Jan de Bont.
Jan de Bont. He went on to direct...
That's our safe word. Jan de Bont!
Sounds so much like you're having a good time. He went on to direct films such as Speed and Speed 2 Cruise Control.
Speed, one of my all-time favourite films.
Speed is so great.
Speed 2, one of my least all-time favourite films.
He also did Twister and a couple others.
Yeah.
So he had a pretty successful...
Oh, Jan de Bont. Never heard that name.
What about Jan de Bont?
Yes.
No?
Go with Jan, it's more fun.
Jan de Bont.
Jan de Bont.
He had his scalp ripped off. One of the lions ripped it off his head.
No, we all knew where a scalp was.
What's it doing there? That's what the lion said. But he said, no, it's fine. He needed 120 stitches even.
Really? 120, very good.
There's a photo of him, like just hair at the front of his head and just scar and stitching all around the...
That's gross.
Oh.
They use it for a poster.
He's not even in the film.
Yeah. Afterwards, John Marshall remembers going into the office on set and said, "Oh, all right, I think we need to get a new director of photography, obviously," figuring that he would not return after having his scalp ripped off. But amazingly, he came back and finished the film.
Why?
A couple of stitches, I'll be back in.
Why?
Feel passionate about it, I guess.
Don't feel passionate about it.
Some of the people who love the film love the way it was shot. Like, there's no surprise that he went on to have a successful...
It's got that Jan de Bont feel.
Yes, that's right.
That classic de Bont touch.
That touch that we loved in Speed 1 yet hated in Speed 2.
The photography was great. The acting was... They just it was believable that they were terrified, but the lines they were saying, it really, watching it is like, what is going on?
Right.
It's a weird mishmash of a film.
Great.
But it is full on. Like, there are times where Noel is standing up. He's like standing up to lines and they're going full pouncing on him, dragging him to the ground. He's got blood coming out. It's all real. Anyway, you guys should check it out.
I don't think I want to.
But it is also like a hard, slow watch as well. It's weird how much and how little is going on all at the same time.
Classic Jan de Bont.
Yeah. But I mean, he's cast as the lead actor a guy who was a talent agent. Him. Not an actor.
He knows talent when he sees it. And he sees it every morning in the mirror.
Hedren later wrote a book about the making of the film, saying that she hoped the film would show the possibilities of human and big cat relationships.
Or the impossibilities?
Kind of missed the mark a little bit.
Yeah.
Injuries weren't even the end of the film's troubles. The house had to be rebuilt during the shoot. as it was destroyed by a flood. There were also fires, and the film kept going over budget, ending up at 17 million, but they often had to halt so Noel could go source some more cash. Go sell another horse.
Casino. Put everything on red.
He kept winning.
The family put everything into the film. It even cost Hedren and Marshall their marriage eventually, with the couple divorcing a year after the film's release in 1982. When a journalist said it must have been a stressful time, their son John said, "Stressful is kind."
Please, John.
Oh, sorry, great. This is John Marshall.
Their son John.
Their son John.
Right.
Not your grandparents' son John.
Great. Thank you.
John said, can we give it like a 5, like
Yes.
give him a 5 minute and then I'll
Yeah.
if I need to fold back in I will.
I'm so sorry, I can't allow that.
John Marshall, the son of Noel, said,
Which Noel?
the safe word Noel, he said,
Oh, no.
No.
he said, "Stressful is kind. We had floods, we had fires. Every one of us wound up in the hospital. There were times when we would get together as a family and we would go, I think we should give this up. But we never gave it up."
I reckon that would have been a nightly conversation every night for 5 years.
He said, "It has to do with dealing with lions and tigers. You can't show fear. If you show fear, you're dead. You have to be stronger than them. You have to be stronger than anything in life."
All right, John.
Basically, the line's like, if you don't finish this film, I will maul you.
They're at the hands of the paws of the lions now.
That's cute. After 11 years, the film was finally completed and released, and it was a hit in countries like Japan and Germany.
11 years.
Yeah, 11 years. So it was about 5 years for a shoot and then a similar amount of time in post. Still trying to get funding and just getting it all done.
That.
Apparently they'd get an investor who'd come in and give them $1 million and they'd just throw that into their debt. Like, thank you.
11 years though. Like we went back to our first Instagram post the other day, and mine was 4 years ago, and I hated it. Imagine looking back at something you started 11 years ago and being like, "Well, time to put that out into the world." This piece of shit. Wow. And then by that time, like, technology would have come a lot further, and they would have been like, "You probably could have used fake lions." Shit.
I mean, for that much effort and time, you'd want it to be the greatest film ever made. Matt,
Yeah.
can you confirm, is it the greatest film ever made?
C, yes.
No one here had heard of it.
I know, imagine that. No one...
Oh, sorry, I forgot the alternative title is Godfather 2.
Ah.
Yeah. Yeah, in Japan and Germany it was called Raw.
Godfather 2, Back in the Habit?
They
Every
had,
time.
because of all the debts they had, they hit legal troubles in America and struggled to find a way to release it there. After all that, after 11 years, they weren't even able to release it in their own country.
But wouldn't their creditors want them to release it so they can at least make some of the money back?
Yeah, it's a bit confusing, so probably not quite right. But anyway, Noel kept holding out hope and he kept trying to make it happen right up until he died, when he died in 2010 of cancer, but he never saw his dream of it hitting the cinemas in America. But remember, this guy did let his stepdaughter be mauled by a lion. A deal was finally struck between Olive Films, who held the rights, and the Alamo Drafthouse, a chain of cinemas in America. And in 2015, the movie finally screened in America, debuting at the South by Southwest Festival and also having a limited release. The Drafthouse boss, Tim League, said of the South by Southwest screening, "There were gasps, there was horror, there was laughter. Everyone was on the edge of their seats for the entire film. It's this great little undiscovered treasure that we're hoping to find a whole new audience for."
Oh.
Which they didn't really do. It it got a lot of press. People were like, I mean, it's an amazing story, but not heaps of people saw it. It's become a bit of a cult thing, but really not that many people still have seen it. And I think they reckon it's made about 2 million of its 17 million. Bang.
Let's quickly do the math. That is not a good result.
Carry the one.
Of the cast and crew, John Marshall seems to be the only one who's really open to talking about the film still these days. Tippy and Melanie sort of want to distance themselves from it.
It really sounds like John likes bitching about it.
Oh, okay.
My dad.
Yeah, it's
My
been
dad
a long
likes to
time.
bitch about this one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's classic John Perkins. He does sort of have a bit of a love-hate relationship with it, though, John, the John, son of Noel. Saying, every time I watch Raw, I have nightmares for 2 or 3 days.
And I watch it every 2 or 3 days.
Just gotta keep 'em rolling.
Yeah.
He goes, it's like, fuck, who thought that was smart? But we're part of history. No one is ever gonna make a movie like this again. It's just so fun because I'm alive, and I shouldn't be.
That is fun.
It's rated as a cult classic, and it's got a pretty positive rating on Rotten Tomatoes Splitometer or whatever it's called. It's 70%,
Oh.
which is interesting. Here's a couple of the positive reviews. Tom Meek from Cambridge Day said, I honestly can't say Raw is a good film or even a bad one, because it's both. But I can say there is never a down moment. There is always something to draw you in. And then Simon Abrams from RogerEbert.com said, if you want to see cats chasing people in packs, falling over themselves to descend stairwells, and jump up trees to swipe at disposable human protagonists, you'll probably enjoy Raw.
I feel like there are a lot of spoilers in that one.
So that's kind of it for the movie, but just a little bit about what Tippy's been up to. I quite like Tippy. This is from her biography.com article. It says that Tippy has continued to act as well as dedicating much of her life to animal activism, especially with big cats. She's assisted in their rescue and protection and has helped purchase land north of Los Angeles to establish the Shambhala Preserve as a sanctuary. Shambhala has sheltered hundreds of rescued animals, and Hedron has received numerous awards for her efforts from organisations such as the ASPCA and Wildhaven. Through all this, she's also kept up her acting career, appearing in shows such as Murder, She Wrote, Chicago Hope, CSI and Cougar Town. But her main passion... Didn't even leave a gap there for anyone. But her main passion remains animal welfare. Tibby now distances herself from the film, believing that it's not a great message and that they probably shouldn't be pets.
Oh.
She's done a full 180, so at the start she's like, it'd be great to show that lions and humans should hang out, and in the end she's like, nah, not a good
That was
idea.
a bad idea.
We all knew that, and it took her like 30 years to work that out.
So yeah, the $2 million out of the $17 million budget is obviously not a great result, and some say the production was cut down by the Exorcist curse, which is a curse that is said to have hit those involved with the hit movie The Exorcist, and Noel was the executive producer. But obviously that is a topic for another day, so happy birthday! Thank you so much.
Wow. I've never wanted to watch a movie and not wanted to watch the movie so much.
Yeah, I to be honest, don't tell the audience, but I did not get through it. It was it was cool. Like, it was amazing, those scenes with just the lions and tigers. Just it looked like a river of cats, if you can imagine that.
Oh, usually when you want a horse, what you do is you tape a bunch of cats together. Gotta get a Simpsons reference in. Thank you. People complained a couple of nights ago when I didn't get one in, so most of that show was me going, all right, back catalogue, Simpsons. So thank you.
Yeah, you got there. Well done.
We did it.
Well done to both of you. You both accomplished a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, good for you.
Any questions?
How would have Sidney Sheinberg done this film?
Oh, good. I reckon he would have added a chimpanzee.
Yeah.
And he would have named it something like Big Balls in Outer Space. That's just for you and me, obviously. No, not many Sheinberg heads in.
No shinies in.
Shinies.
He's got a fan club.
Hey, can
So we
you?
should.
No, because is Sheinberg in tonight?
I don't think he is. He doesn't usually appear at our live shows.
I want them to see what your face looks like. Can you say Raw? Raw's not a great title. Let's rename it Big Balls in Space.
No, can Sydney say
Oh, sorry,
that?
can Sydney.
Oh, you want Sydney to say it?
Yeah,
Well,
Dave could say it, sure. Bit of pish posh. But Sydney.
get ready.
And sorry. And he'll explain later.
I'm Sydney Schaefer. What the hell is that? What do you call it wrong? This show is lines wrong, but I think we should call it Big Balls in Space. Yeah. I really like space. But you know what I like tigers. They don't live in Africa. Who gives a shit? No one really knows about this. 70 people died. 70 people died. Who cares? Go away. The film. I love the film. I'm Sydney Schaefer. Okay, gotta go. Bye.
Welcome back. You okay? You alright?
I'm so sorry. Just blacked out for a second.
The best part is Sydney always finishes with "Gotta go, bye." It's like Dave hasn't figured out how to end. They're like, "Gotta go."
I don't know what happened.
We'll explain later.
Yeah, thank you. Fill me in on the
We'll
details.
wind back the film.
Oh, I'm looking forward to watching that back.
I think that does just about bring us in.
That does bring us into the show. Ladies and gentlemen, please give it up for Matt Stewart and the Raw Report. So that does bring us to the end of the show. Thank you so much for coming out. It's been awesome doing 2 nights here at the Glee Club. Fantastic comedy venue that has comedy and music every night of the week. Could we have a big, massive round of applause for the Glee Club? Thank you for having us.
Our producer who's helped us organise this whole tour is also here tonight. Big round of applause for Mark Chatterley.
Thank you, Mark.
He's the reason we're here. Thank you, Mark.
Also, we've been lucky enough to have a photographer in tonight, taking a few snaps. Liam Kewen, thank you so much
Yeah,
for
thank
Liam.
you, Liam.
Thank you, Liam.
Got a few tasteful nudes before the show. We said only tasteful ones, Liam.
Butt model.
That's where our butt model friend came into it.
Huh?
Yeah.
You're regretting saying you're a butt model, aren't you?
Regret face.
Yeah. Well, you should see my regret butt. Oh, thank you so much for coming out. It blows our minds that we can come from Melbourne to come to Birmingham and do 1, let alone 2 shows here. So thank you so much for coming out. We will be hanging out after the show. We're going to duck backstage, drop some stuff down, and then we're going to come out here. And if anyone wants to stick around and say hello, get a photo, we've got some T-shirts for sale. They're £15. £15 for a T-shirt.
I mean, he literally,
Yeah.
he got there. We got some T-shirts to sell. They're 15, but how much?
I mean, I am open to bartering, sir. What would you think is reasonable?
I pay more. That's fine.
We also just printed some posters up for our tour.
They're £5!
It's the first night they are available. If you would like a collector's item such as a tour poster, it's got all the dates and the shows we've done on it. We've got some pens, we can sign those or write a message to you guys or someone at home if you would like that. But genuinely, thank you so much for coming out, and we do hope to meet some of you now. But until next week, I think that's it for us. And until then, I will say goodbye!
Bye.